When most people think about Jesus, they have a very specific image that comes to mind.
Absolutely, the Prince of Peace.
Exactly. Harmony, unity, bringing people together. But the text we're breaking down for this deep dive, Matthew 10 for February 6, 2026, it just shatters that image.
It really does. I mean, we're looking at the commentaries on verses 34 to 42, and the opening line is, well, it's jarring. He says, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword."
A sword. It's such a complete inversion of what you'd expect. So our mission here is to unpack that. Why does this message of good news come with a metaphor that's so violent?
And looking at the source material, it gets very specific. This isn't just some abstract spiritual warfare.
No, it gets incredibly domestic, doesn't it?
It does. When the text says sword, our sources really emphasize it's not a literal weapon, it's a metaphor for severance.
A cut.
A really decisive cut. And the scariest part is where that cut happens. It's not nation against nation, it's right at the dinner table.
Yeah, I was looking at that breakdown. A man against his father, a daughter against her mother. The text literally says, a person's enemies will be those of his own household.
And for that culture, family was everything, right? Your identity, your safety net, it was catastrophic.
So what's the logic behind it?
It all comes down to this idea of ultimate loyalty. The sources explain that when someone accepts this faith, it's like an immediate transfer from death to life. It's a total regime change.
And when you change regimes instantly, the friction with the old system
is instantaneous too. The clash is unavoidable.
The notes mention this isn't just a metaphor for, an awkward family dinner.
Far from it, no.
Yeah.
The reflections we're looking at point to some grim realities, even today.
Like what?
We're talking about regions where conversion means getting expelled from your community, children being beaten or confined by their own parents.
Wow.
Or entire families having their homes burned down.
Yeah.
The sword is that severance of the entire social contract.
Which brings us to verse 39, that famous paradox. Whoever finds his life will lose it.
And whoever loses his life, for my sake, will find it. But just before that, there's that line about being worthy that you pointed out.
The hierarchy of love, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The text basically says if you love your father, mother, son, or daughter more than him, you're not worthy.
It's positioning family affection, which we see as a virtue, as a potential competitor.
A potential idol, even. It's a demand for total supremacy. And the logic is, if you clutch onto your earthly safety, your family, your reputation,
they lose the very love you're trying to protect.
Precisely. Discipleship creates a friction that can strip all of that away.
Okay, but here's where the whole thing takes a really interesting turn. So we've just established that this sword cuts you off from everything, your family, your home.
You're essentially made an outcast.
Right. And then immediately the text pivots to a cup of cold water. It seems so random.
It seems disconnected, but it's actually the solution to the problem the sword just created.
Because if you've been cut off from your family,
you need a new one.
A new support network.
That's it. The text shifts from the cost of following to the reward for receiving. It says anyone who receives a prophet or a righteous person gets their reward. It's building a new system for those who've been severed.
And that's the cup of water. The notes made a great point that giving a disciple water in a context where they are a pariah, it's a political act.
It absolutely is. You're identifying with the outcast. And the text says you will by no means lose your reward. It's like God is watching these tiny interactions with, high-definition scrutiny.
So you might not be the one out there preaching, but if you support the one who is.
You're just as much a part of the ecosystem. It completely reorders our priorities. You can't have dual citizenship, so to speak.
Which leaves us with a pretty heavy final thought to wrap up with. The text demands we take up a cross.
And the sources ask us, what does that actually look like for you today? We tend to think of some big, dramatic martyrdom.
But maybe it's not.
Maybe the friction is in your career choices or your social circle. Or maybe your act of radical faithfulness today isn't about the sword at all, but about just offering that cup of cold water to someone who's been cut off.
A massive cost, but also a massive promise. Thanks for diving in with us.